embarked on I guess, a good international break for England for the most part. And we're jumping to the Premier League and the Champions League. So why don't we do our Champions League preview? How about that? Should we start with that? Thank you for the nodding. Everyone saw that on the radio. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, I forgot we're also on a podcast now as well.
Yeah, we're also on a podcast. We're not going straight to YouTube. Thanks a lot. Do you know what? I don't know. Where should we start? Because we've got the matchups. So I'll just bring them up if you want.
Do you know you used to start by introducing us? Remember those days?
Sure. I mean, I can do if you like that. This is Danny. Danny, tell us what your name, your age, and what your sex is, please.
ASL.
Yes, ASL. What you like to do.
I was joking.
All right. Well, just because you want to talk then, which out of the 4 matchups? So you've got Real Madrid, Liverpool, Man City, Dortmund, Bayern Munich, PSG, Porto, Chelsea. Which of those are you looking forward to the most?
Slight giveaway, maybe, by if you're watching on YouTube. I am looking forward to.
Leverkusen's not in it, by the way.
What's that?
Leverkusen's not in it.
I'm looking forward to seeing Real Madrid beat Liverpool. That'd be nice. I'm definitely looking forward to Bayern PSG. I think that'd be a good game. Last year's final. I think Bayern will win it. PSG haven't looked good recently. Neymar will probably get sent off. This is what he does these days.
That's what he does these days.
And it's a bit of shame for Dortmund. They've got a ton of injuries, so I'm still excited to see Haaland against City, see what he can do. But they've got quite a few injuries, so I don't think they're going to stand a chance.
You know, as a Man United fan, does your love for Man United trump your urgency or your need or your want for an England side to win against any other team in the Champions League? So, like, you'd rather Real Madrid beat Liverpool in this instance?
Yeah. Liverpool. Yeah, definitely. I don't like seeing Liverpool win anything.
Not one thing.
No.
Okay. Fair enough.
The only time I didn't mind it when Gerrard won the Champions League in 3-3 against AC Milan. I was cheering for Liverpool that night because that was basically England versus Italy, and that was for Gerrard, and I felt like he deserved it. But outside of that, no, not really.
Yeah, I'm a bit different. I like seeing English teams do well, except Chelsea. For some, I don't know what it is. They're the only English team I don't feel that love for. City's weird because I don't really feel anything towards them. Like, I don't cheer them on or I don't hate them. In fact, I hardly watch City in Europe.
You sound like City fans in Europe.
Yeah, it's like honestly, like the one thing, if Liverpool qualify, I know I will watch that following game. Like with Man City, I'm like, I don't know if I watch Man City. Well, I won't. I will be watching Real Madrid Liverpool. Like it's and it'll be one of those. It'll be half time, and the Man City game will be 3-3, and Liverpool will be 0-0. But I'll still up the second half to watch the Liverpool second half. I just don't really feel much for City. Chelsea, I don't really. I never find the need to support them. Liverpool, I don't really. It's weird. It's like I want to see them qualify, but just not win it. Maybe the losing finalists is a good. It's a good thing for me. I'm like, I get to see them all the way through, and then they don't win it. So,
well, do you find yourself with more or less interest in the Champions League if Arsenal's not in it?
I love the Champions League. To be fair, Arsenal haven't participated in the latter stages for about the last decade anyway. So it's
basically since 2004, really. I guess
2007, it was a semi, or maybe 2009, maybe semi against United, where Ronaldo. It was over after the first leg. I'm the opposite to these two. I hate all the English teams. I don't want to see any of them other than Arsenal do well. Purely, but then if a team like, let's say Leicester or Villa got into the Champions League, I would support them.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, and then out of all of the English teams, United or Liverpool, I don't mind seeing winning it. Chelsea or Spurs, massive no. And then if West Ham ever got in, I'd hate them as well. Like I loved it the other year when West Ham qualified for Europe and they lost in the first qualifying round. Just that was brilliant.
Why Everton?
Pardon?
Why Everton?
Did I say Everton?
No.
Oh, Everton. No, I like Everton.
Oh.
And I don't mind Liverpool and I don't mind Man United. It's just the other London teams I don't really like. City I don't like because of obvious reasons like oil money, plastic fan base, etc., etc.
Just the environmentalists over here.
Yeah. Chelsea I hate. Obviously, in fact, I've always said Chelsea are actually a more hateable club than Spurs. Although I hate Spurs more, Chelsea have more to dislike as a football club.
Agreed.
Yeah. But yeah, the Champions League, I'll always love the Champions League. To be honest with you, this year, I'm less interested in the Champions League because of the whole no fans thing. I think like I remember when Napoli qualified for the first time in about 15 years, back when they had Cavani, Lavezzi, and Hamzik as their front three, and that was a great team. They're three centre halves, out at an average age of about 37. And I remember their ground was full up. There was 60,000 in their stadium at midday that day, and they just like had been in the ground, just letting off flares, chanting, ripping up seats, etc. for about 8 hours. So by the time kickoff came around in their first game, I believe they played. I know they got knocked out in the end by Chelsea, but I can't remember who their first game in the group was. But anyway, the stadium was electric, the atmosphere was electric. So I love that about the Champions League, and I feel like without fans, we've lost a little bit of that.
Probably, I'd probably be inclined to agree because there's like it's different when football's under the lights as opposed to daytime. Sunday.
Massively,
a whole different thing. Even when like I've been to the Emirates and we're playing against a Krasnodar or whatever they're called, some terrible teams. Just even though they're not serving beer in the evenings, even though they're sponsored by Heineken, don't know why.
Yeah,
it's made no sense. But do you think like this year we've come back to a bit of a Premier League greatness where we've got the most teams in the Champions League with 3 out of the 8 teams that are left? Do you think that we actually have a chance? Even though, well, obviously we've got a chance because they're in it, but is it feasible to think that we can win we English teams could win the Champions League having the most teams in?
Yes and no. Like yes, in the sense that every team's got a chance, but
but like who do you think is? How many much better teams are there? PSG, Bayern Munich, Porto, Dortmund.
Only Bayern.
Yeah, only Bayern are clearly head and shoulders above now. But what I will say,
not PSG, no.
No, PSG.
England.
Go on, Mark.
Yeah, England have the second and third best team. So I'd say Bayern first, City second, Liverpool third, PSG fourth, and then it's a race to the bottom with the rest. So like, do they have a chance? Yes, they got the second and third best teams in left in it. But
you think Liverpool, like maybe it's just because I see them more than obviously the other teams, but do you think Liverpool are the third best team in the pot still? Really?
Yeah.
Last year they were the best team in the world, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were also higher up in the Premier League table. They're struggling to be in the top 4.
Yeah, they're still the same team though. They're still the same player. I know they got injured.
They're not the same team because they're not winning the league. So
but they're still the same players.
Yeah. The difference is I think they're struggling for motivation in the league. Like
you also have 2 really bad centre backs.
Well,
they got 2 bad centre backs, but I'd argue they were missing Jota just as much. So like he's come back now, and now they're scoring goals again. And they've got 2 terrible centre backs who still kept a clean sheet. Like they're not the best, but
they're playing Arsenal. I mean,
you can only beat. It's a bit like what was it? Albania and San Marino. You can only beat what's in front of you. So it's
saying that there's every chance an English team can win the Europa League just as much. Arsenal are still in that. United.
Well, Man United and Arsenal are 2 favourites, aren't they? So
yeah, I don't know who's made. I mean, I'm sure it's got a bit of English bias because obviously the bookies are giving markets on based in England. But
I was gonna say, it's probably because we bet more than a lot of other countries, right?
Yeah, a lot of other countries don't really like. In France, they don't really have a culture of gambling, not like we do. Like we bet on anything. Like we bet on absolutely anything. Whereas like the French is not so much. The Germans, I don't know. Probably, I get the impression they probably love a bet as well.
No,
they're far too efficient. They only bet on the favourites. They only bet on the favourites. They're not.
No, they don't bet. Most of the states in Germany can't. You're not allowed. There's there's so many different rules. The gambling commission out in Germany is a nightmare. Yeah.
How do we feel about Madrid, by the way, guys?
How do we feel about them?
Am I alone in thinking that they're going to do a typical Madrid and come into form in mid-April?
No, that's exactly what I think will happen.
Yeah, that's what I think. Because I mean, I watched them against Atalanta, and Modric, Kroos, and Casemiro looked as good as ever. Like genuinely, like those three in the middle, and then obviously with Benzema, you know, Benzema's proved again and again how good of a striker he is. It wouldn't surprise me to see Madrid. In fact, I know we probably haven't got odds to hand. If they were anything more than 8-1, I'm going to go and probably stick a tenner on them.
The only problem is Ramos is out. Ramos is out for about 4 or 5 weeks, I think they said.
So he'll be back for the final, potentially.
Yeah.
The Premier League is back this weekend, which was good for some, not for all. We won't go through all, but I know Rory's got much interest in this. We have, as Arsenal fans, we've been arguing a bit back and forth on Arteta and whether he should be there or not. What I actually want to ask and see if we can sort of form a conversation around it is, what, if you can remember, when Arteta got hired, or even your own thoughts, what were Arteta's expectations before the season? And then, like, how is he missing it, or is he meeting those expectations? Because me personally, I'm not as vehement as Rory is in terms of he should just be out. I don't really like the carousel. I don't like just getting rid of managers as soon as they're doing poorly. But except for exceptional circumstances when they're being exceptionally bad, I don't know if Arteta's right there. But I don't know. Like, also, I don't know if he's matching expectations. So I've just answered my own question poorly. But
I would caveat that by saying that, like, that being 10th, joint 11th in April, considering the players at his disposal, is exceptionally bad. I'd say he's doing.
Well, what were the expectations beforehand then?
The same as every year, top 4 and try and win a cup.
You thought that when Arteta came in after Emery's reign,
yeah,
Arsenal were top 4 bust.
Yeah, yes, that's what it's got to be all the time for a club the size of Arsenal. And it's very different this year. I'm acknowledging that it's extremely different this year. You know, we have no fans in the stadium. Teams haven't been able to buy well. Teams haven't been able to explore how they'd usually explore in the market. Well. Pardon? You think
well?
Yeah, I mean, Gabriel and Thomas Partey. Yeah, so he had exactly the same squad as Emery had, plus he added a bit of midfield still and a centre back. So
He's got Odegaard as well,
and he's got Odegaard in as well.
Was Tierney?
No, Tierney was there already.
Was it?
But I think it's got to be every year. For when you're talking about, and I don't mean to sound arrogant, but when you're talking about the big clubs in this country, you have a so-called big 6. I think it's debatable whether Tottenham will be in there because they don't win anything. But the big 6, it should be top 4 every year. And then for clubs like Leicester, Aston Villa, Everton, West Ham, Newcastle, the next tier down clubs, they should all be saying, if someone in that top 6 slips up, we're going to get in there. So for a club like Newcastle, for example, if they're finishing in the bottom half, that's not good enough for a club of that size. Obviously, if you're Bournemouth or Brighton or Southampton, then that's slightly different. The expectations are lower. But for the big clubs, you know, the clubs that have been in the Premier League for 20 out of the 22, or in fact, is it 20 years yet that the Premier League's been going?
Oh, longer than that.
For teams that have been there for 30, sorry. For teams that have been there for 25 years plus of the 30 odd years that the Premier League's been going, it's not acceptable for a club of that size to be, you know, to be where they are. And having players like, you know, Lacazette has never scored 15 goals in the Premier League and we paid 50 million for him. Aubameyang rocking up with a different haircut every week and then not doing the business on the pitch. Like Thomas Partey, international. Kieran Tierney, international. Hector Bellerin, so-called Spanish international in the greatest era of Spanish football ever. Aubameyang, international captain. Odegaard, international. Like, you can't convince me that that's not a good squad. You know, we're talking about a squad of internationals.
Yeah, I think that's where.
Hold on. The thing is, like, and it's probably more in agreement with you, Rory. It's very telling that on the game on the weekend, the game changed once Tierney went off. Obviously, we probably weren't looking like we were going to win the game, but as soon as he went off, Arsenal aren't the same team. And to have him as your best player or the person that's going to be the game changer with him being on and off is pretty telling, pretty damning. Right.
Should you be relying on your left back? I agree. I love Tierney. I think Tierney's a phenomenal player. But should you be relying on a left back for the whole balance of your entire team to go, well, the left back went off? I mean, it looks like he's going to be out for a while now. So what is that? Are we just going to accept not winning another game for 5 weeks until Tierney gets fit. For me, it's just they're overcoached, they're micromanaged. There's no fluidity. There's no kind of expression. You know, it's just turgid. It's the only way I can describe it. Just awful. I really am fed up with it.
Just turning into Arsenal fan TV.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well, I think your point on the internationals is why I think Arteta's in trouble. I think you give him to the end of the season and then you say goodbye, because there's the basic job of a manager is to try to get the team to perform at its best, and a good manager somehow squeezes more out of that team. And if you looked at the teams and said, okay, look at Everton, I think Ancelotti is doing about as good a job as he could with those players. I look at like Solskjaer and I'm like, could Solskjaer be doing much better with that team? I think we're doing about as well as we could. I look at Man City, they're doing as well as they could. I look at Liverpool and I think, no, but they've had 3 years in a row of getting more than probably that team's good at. And then I look at Arsenal and I'm like, every player's an international. And they're just not good.
Yeah,
they're
there's
just
like 2 exceptions. I think other than Lacazette and Holding, I think there was literally nine internationals on the pitch.
And like, I do think that the game changed when Tierney went off is a bit misleading. I think Liverpool were just missing chances. Like, when you re-watch it and you hear the commentary, as soon as Liverpool scored their first goal and then the second, it's like, oh, this is what should have happened in the first half. It was just, Liverpool were just, as Liverpool do, they were wasteful. So it was like, it coincides our Tierney went off, but it was like actually Liverpool just got clinical in the second half. And we know what it's like. The first goal is always the hardest. Once you score one, it's like floodgates, isn't it? So,
well, with Arsenal, it definitely is, because they just capitulated as soon as, even before that first goal, it was like, yeah, game over.
It was so bad.
It was bad game management in the second half, because we even joked at half time. Remember, they showed that stat at half time of the entire Arsenal team's average position was in their own half.
Yeah.
And they showed they compared the stats with another game when Arsenal managed to get a 0-0 out of it. And you go, well, if Arsenal got to the end of that game and got a 0-0, you'd probably go, well, you know, they've got a 0-0 out of Liverpool. It's not the end of the world. But in the second half, Arteta went for it a bit more. Tierney did come off, which didn't help, but they changed the formation a little bit. Their average position was way higher up the pitch. And sure enough, they got picked off by a better team, which is going to happen. So it's kind of one of the reasons why you play like that half-court press against Liverpool, is because they're not going to break you down as easily as if you leave space behind for Salah and Jota when he comes on, or whoever else. But the thing you said earlier, Rory, about the top clubs is, I always wondered, like, do the top clubs have a divine right to be a top club? Just because you've been a top club 10 years ago and you were a top 4, top 6, does that really mean that you should still be now if you're mismanaged or haven't got as good a squad?
No.
There was a really good tweet on I think it was the Gunners blog, and they said, I got it up here, and they said, when you play well one week and then badly the next, you're good at certain things and they're not on others. When your best players have real weaknesses and off days, you're a mid-table team.
Yeah, of course you are.
That is true.
And that
is absolutely true.
And I'd agree with you. And not only would I agree with you, I would go further. Not only are Arsenal an average team in that league, they're also extremely poorly managed. The scouting is wrong. The setup is wrong. The lack of accountability is wrong. The fact that the players are constantly on TikTok and Snapchat and Christ knows what else is wrong.
Book face.
Yeah, but yeah, they're doing videos of each other in the changing room and in the dressing room. Like,
but all of them do that these days. I mean, Arsenal seem to be worse for it, but like, look at Lingard. Look at all of them.
Look at Lingard now. He's sort of at West Ham. He ain't at Man United.
But Lingard's at West Ham now, and
he's playing for England again.
He's just scored while we were talking about this.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
No, but to be fair, Rory, to be fair to Rory, he's not saying that Arsenal have a right to, but that's the expectation of a big club.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go on to say. If we're not doing that, if we're not finishing top 4, I'm a strong believer. For example, the year Leicester won the league, that was an own goal by Arsenal and all of the other big clubs who didn't step up, and Leicester were more than worthy champions that year. My issue is that when you are a club of that size, you can't accept that. You can. It's more than likely that it could happen every now and again, but when it does happen, you have to act quickly to put it right. And it's something United haven't done in the last 10 years and only just seem to be getting back in now. And it's something that Arsenal have never done. There's no accountability and there's no, hang on, how do we stop this happening again? I mean, could you imagine if Juventus, and I'm not for a second saying Juventus or that Arsenal were as big a club as Juventus, but can you imagine if Juventus or Barcelona or even Atletico Madrid finished ninth? There'd be serious surgery in the summer to put it right and to fix it. Whereas we just get people shrugging their shoulders and saying, oh, well, actually, what more could he do with these players?
Do you know what I think gets underappreciated sometimes? And probably, I think we're aware of it, but we don't talk about it, is that, like, fair enough, we could talk about the players and we could talk about the manager, but this is a thing that Arsenal have been associated with in terms of being bad for a long, long time before Arteta, before Unai Emery, and what was probably half of Arsene Wenger's tenure. The club as a whole just don't seem to have a lot of stomach. Like they seem to have a culture that transcends terms of managers and players and that sort of stuff. And we can't really talk about that because we don't know what's inside. But Man United seems to have made a turnaround from when they went, obviously had a dip after Alex Ferguson left. Chelsea tend to bounce up and down a bit. I don't know if that's more money. I think they probably have an internal structure that seems to be different. You look at Man City. When Man City came with all their money, they also made a concerted effort to change the culture internally for the club. But Arsenal tend not to address that. And I don't have the answer. I don't know why, but I wonder why that is. Is it that they don't invest in the right people? Is it?
Yeah, they don't do
enough.
They don't do due diligence on players. How many people?
Not just players, Rory. Hold on, not just players. You're talking about like executives, scouts, scouting execs. Like I feel like their dinner lady's going to be wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's like everyone. They've probably got. I mean, look at their injuries throughout the years because they only used one specific physiotherapist. Like everything's wrong about that club. They had a video analysis room there apparently that Wenger didn't use for his last 4 years. He was like, well, if we play our game, no one can beat us, which is why they always failed in Europe. And now you've got Arteta. It's like Jekyll and Hyde. Arteta is overcoaching everything. Like you do your work coaching wise on the training ground. You don't need to be screaming instructions every 10 seconds like he does. It's just really, really frustrating. I'm really fed up. I just do not enjoy watching Arsenal anymore. For the first time ever, really. It's actually making my love of football disappear a little bit. It's so frustrating.
I like that you wore an Arsenal top to say that.
Yeah,
he wants to take it off and burn it in the clip.
I just think it's so. I just feel like the club needs a shake up from top to bottom. Like it just really needs. It really needs an injection of fresh air.
Well, that's what's troubling for me because we could talk about Arteta as the manager, and I might be a bit too generous in saying that he's not doing the worst job ever. But for me, you could put him in, you could put any other manager in, and look at Unai Emery and how well he's doing since he's left. There just seems to be something internally with Arsenal that it doesn't matter which manager you get, unless it's just going to end up being wrong. But hopefully, at some point, I'll be wrong about that, and we'll get corrected.
I don't know. I don't even know how you go about fixing it. I'm glad it's not me that has to do it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, you said earlier that like Newcastle being in the top half not being in the top half of a club of their size is a travesty. They're on the brink of relegation.
Yeah, exactly. Because they've fallen into a culture where mediocrity is accepted. They're now a yo-yo club. When we were growing up, Newcastle were like a top team. Newcastle used to get, well, they still do. They get 52,000 through there every day to watch absolute rubbish football because it's accepted and because Mike Ashley has never wanted to sell up. Like, and it's the same. Arsenal could be the next Newcastle. Look at Villa. Villa are massive. You go to Birmingham, every second person's a Villa fan, but they still went down. I'm not saying Arsenal are going to go down anytime soon, but it's a similar story. Like
stranger things have happened.
Lack of accountability, disinterested owner, passive fan base. Before you know it, all it takes is one bad season.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Oh, hilarious. That's funny as war and famine.
I don't know if it would be hilarious, but
Arsenal would tear up the championship then.
They probably wouldn't the way they're playing.
No, they wouldn't. You get absolutely schooled.
The one thing they can't do is ball against Derby.
Yeah, you can't play against 6'5" strikers.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be like Sheffield United all over the shop, and Arsenal
Yeah.
will handle that.
Oh,
too.
it's so depressing.
They'll go down and then see Troy Deeney and be like, "Oh, what have we done?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Like, I think over the next few pods, I'm going to start talking about some of the races at the end of the season, because we've got like 7-8 games left. I think the battle for top 4 is pretty tight. But just for this one, just bringing up Newcastle and relegation, I think we can safely say that Sheffield United and West Brom are probably going to get relegated. Yeah, agreed.
No, I think only Sheffield United are gone.
And West Brom's still in it. Well, fair enough. Who out of the teams that are in the bottom that you think are going to get relegated? I'm looking probably at Burnley 15 downward, Brighton, Newcastle, Fulham, West Brom. 1, who do you think deserves to go down? And 2, who do you actually would rather see go down, and who would you want to stay in?
I mean,
All right, I'll start then.
Go on.
All right. Well, it's annoying because I do like Fulham, but I think I mentioned last year on the pod when they won the playoff final.
You just have to say you like Fulham, part of your work.
Yeah, but I do see them. They're in a nice part of London. Their stadium's quite nice. But when they won the Championship playoff final against Brentford, and I was like, Brentford. Sorry, Brentford play good football. They were probably one of the best teams in the Championship, but had a nosebleed towards the end of the season, and then whoever finishes third never wins the playoff. And it's like, as soon as Fulham won, I was like, oh, they're going down. And it's like, I just knew they were going down. And every time they were drawing, and Danny was saying, that's another game they haven't lost, I was like, but they're just going down. I knew it from the moment they beat Brentford that they would go down. And it's like, I'm just not inspired by them. At least West Brom tried the Big Sam tactic. I just think it's too much. It's too little, too late. Like, you're talking.
I mean, they're 8 points.
I think that's really harsh on Scott Parker. Actually, I think considering they were 10 points off safety, about 5-6 weeks ago, whatever it was, and if they had not lost yesterday, they could have got out the relegation zone. Like, they're just 3 points behind Newcastle. I mean, it's a bit harsh for them. They're really fighting back.
They were 10 points off when Scott Parker was in charge. He's been in charge the whole time.
I know, but give him credit. He's turned it around. Like, they could have given up at that point. They haven't.
Turn around a bit of a statement.
Yeah.
Well, I think they stay up.
One game in his last 5, he's won. So.
I think they stay up.
They're within 3 points of safety at this point.
Yeah.
Newcastle look like they're more likely to have less fight and give less shit than Fulham, who look like they're actually fighting for their lives at least.
The interesting thing is that Newcastle and Fulham play in the last day of the season, so that could be really interesting. That could be the one to watch for that game.
Could we have fans back by then?
Yeah, we will.
Yeah,
that'd be quality.
They're trying to rearrange all the last games of the season so that for a date, so that all the fans can make it.
Nice.
That'd be amazing.
Would you think Brighton are starting to slide down? Then do you think Brighton is more at risk, or do you think they might have?
I think they're at risk because their fixtures. They've got from their fixtures remaining. I remember looking.
They got Chelsea, Sheffield United, Leeds, Wolves, West Ham, Man City, and Arsenal.
So they're going to win. They'll beat Sheffield United, which is 3 points, which I think puts them safe.
6 points.
That'll put them on 35.
That'll put them on 35, and I think they're safe with that. That's why they're safe. I think they'll look like they're in trouble because they'll be losing, but I think they'll get enough points to be safe.
It's funny.
Funny enough, Wolves are only on 35. I'm shocked by that.
Well,
since Jimenez got injured, I mean, they're basically not won a game.
Other than against Arsenal.
Well, yeah.
About underachieving teams, isn't it? I think Newcastle's one looked pretty tough because they got West Ham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Leicester, Man City, and then Sheffield United and Fulham. So
the only saving grace is you've got City, who would have already won the league by then. You've got Sheffield United, who will be relegated by then. Who have you got? Last day of the season is in their hands because they're playing Fulham. There's 3 games potentially where, because it makes a difference when teams aren't playing for anything, regardless.
Sure, yeah. Well, like even Arsenal, I mean, they could probably be. I'm not making any excuses. Like Arsenal could probably lose against them on any given day, but most of those teams are in a cup at the moment. So, we'll see.
Yeah,
I just don't think Newcastle care enough, to be honest. Like Steve Bruce is is probably the most out of favour manager out of any of the 20 managers in the league at the minute. The players never really care. So it's the same. It's same old, same old. Like I know this is turning into a Newcastle pod, but it's same old with Newcastle.
Probably better
like,
than Arsenal and Man United, which we
it's just Newcastle's players never look like they give a shit.
Did you watch the game?
Yeah, because they seem to win every other. Yeah, because the game yesterday was the two favourites to be sacked.
Oh, really?
Bruce v Mourinho, and it was like they need a win. You're like 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw, yeah.
Then if you actually watch the Newcastle Spurs game.
I did. I was going to say, like, well, if you say they go out and they don't care, yesterday, I don't know if it was because they were up against Spurs, but they definitely looked up for it.
They were the better team. They should have won that game. They were the better team. They were poor finishing. I thought they were the better team.
But as you say, they don't care.
They got Joe Linton. He scored his second goal of the season.
That's the problem. They got. Well, when you look at relegation, when you look at relegations, always every year it comes back to. Reminds me of the Andy Johnson at Palace 20 goals a season type thing. You look at who's got strikers, who's going to score goals. You know who has goals on their side because they're all going to concede. So who's going to score enough goals?
Remember a couple of seasons with Piku and Pookie for Norwich
and Pookie for Norwich. But
we said
Pookie didn't score after October.
But that was the problem. I remember saying if he can score like over like 10 or 15 goals, they'll stay up because that's all you need is a striker that can put away double digits.
That's the problem with Newcastle. They haven't got enough players really that can put the ball in the back of the net. Fulham. If Mitrovic can start firing, maybe they've had a chance, but they also struggle. And then you've got West Brom, whose top goal scorer is Pereira, who he's a good player. Pereira, he's got like 9 goals for them now, but they haven't got any striker that's going to put the ball in the net. Brighton, they're getting goals out of like Trossard and a few others, but again, Morpé's you're just not scoring goals. And then you move up and you go to Burnley, or they'll get enough goals because they've got Chris Wood and whoever else. And that's when you land on Wolves, and you're like, well, actually, no wonder Wolves keep falling and dropping because they've got no goal scorer.
Am I dumb? But like, I always thought it was weird that Brighton doesn't play Connolly enough because I think he's quite good for that level. And whenever he comes on, he seems to be quite busy and he gets a few goals. I don't know if he's like an arsehole at training or something, but I figured.
I don't understand Morpé at all. If Brighton went out and like Brighton, they're so good at finding like really cheap European, like decent Brighton level players. I don't understand why they can't just go out and get a next level up striker.
What do you mean by you don't like Morpé?
It's just a terrible finisher. Brighton, you look at XG, Brighton are second in the league. Brighton should have more goals than anyone. They create so many chances. They are so creative.
So strange because Brighton was so prolific. Morpé was so prolific with Brentford.
Yeah, he was.
And it's just really strange. Speaking of great.
So was what's his name? He's at West Ham now.
Ben Rama.
He can't even get a game and he scored 25 goals.
I mean, when you think that, when you're talking about good scouting networks, I know it's shifting a little bit, but Brentford have had Ollie Watkins. They've now got Ivan Toney. They've had Ben Rama. They've had Neil Maupay. And they pick these players up for like 450 grand and sell them 3 years later for 5 mil. Like, it's pretty much paid for their new stadium. That's how important a good scouting network is.
You listening, Arsenal? That's how you do it. Be more like Brentford.
No, it's true. It's true. Like if Arsenal could go out and actually just not buy players from Lille and loan players from Real Madrid, which is what they seem to do at the minute, there's tons of good players in Europe. And Arsenal should have one of the best scouting networks in the world.
Yeah, they should. I think they're really far behind with that. Yeah, I think it's a Wenger thing. Part of it, as you said, like Wenger was I don't need to use technology. I don't need to. I genuinely think they are behind because of that.
I mean, there's so many good young players around Europe. Me and Danny bought a lot of them on Football Index. I'm
living out of a shed right now.
Yeah. But why are we never linked to them? Why does it have to take them to go to a big club for then us to spend loads of money on them off another big club?
Yeah, like Basuma. There'll be another one you'll be buying soon.
Buendia, another one.
Yeah.
Results League. So last week, Danny, or 2 weeks ago, I should say rather, Danny picked Crystal Palace to beat Everton. Unfortunately, that was a 1-1 draw today. I went for Leicester to beat Man City. I thought they had a better chance in as they sort of smashed them last time, but I was evidently pretty wrong. I said Leicester 3, Man City 2. I don't know. I thought Leicester probably could have got a little bit more out of that game, but there you go. They lost. What was it? 2-0?
Yep.
Very good. That's the title race over, is it? Yeah.
Well, you got the number of Man City goals correct, so you did half the selection.
Do I get half a point? Mark picked Liverpool to beat Arsenal 2-0. That was somewhat correct, and we won't go over the Arsenal stuff again. But yeah, not great. Do you know what, beforehand? No, I won't even say it. I'm joking. I don't know how we could get Rory involved. I might chuck you one of my picks one week just so you can get involved. You're not.
Oh no, I'm terrible at predicting. You haven't seen my Bet365 net deposits. I'm terrible. I'm good at talking about football. I'm terrible at predicting results.
Yeah, there you go. So, do you want to go first, Dan? Oh no, Mark, you've already written yours down. You've gone for Brighton to beat Everton at home. A rare home fixture for Mark.
And there's an element of needing to pick Brighton to win and needing to pick Everton to lose. So that did play its part.
You think that played the whole part?
But I also think Brighton are at the point now. We said I think they'll beat Sheffield United. I think they're one win away from safety. So I'm hoping that means they're a bit more motivated. And Brighton seem to heroically lose a lot of games. So you always think, they're going to go into the next game thinking, okay, we shouldn't have lost. Let's.
Do you know what? That's the thing with Brighton. Every game I've ever watched of Brighton, I've thought they shouldn't have lost that game. And they lose so many games this season, and it's because they've got goal scorers.
It's like everyone I beat at FIFA always feels like they had a chance.
That's because you can see so many chances.
Yes. But
I know, it's always a surprise when you look at Brighton, you're like, they're 2 points off relegation. That's a shame. Maybe it's because they were just talking on the weekend, Dunk, what a stalwart. He's been there right since they've been brought up and he's missed 3 games. Well, maybe he's just a bad centre-back. Like, why don't you just get someone else? I don't know.
Dunk's great. He also has a great free kick on
you don't play 200 odd games in the Premier League if you're a shit player. Fair play. I'm a big fan of longevity. Like Mark,
how long did Carl Jenkinson play in the Premier League?
But he didn't start, did he? Yeah, I know. That was guaranteed a nibble. But yeah, to start every week in the Premier League. Like, look at Mark Noble. Bramble again lasted 3 or 4 years and then he was bombed out.
I think Bramble is one of those underrated defenders.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He was like spectacular mistakes. So it'd be like he'd actually be good for like 10 games, and then he's 11th. He'll do something awful that was like, okay, everyone saw this. Yeah. So he was actually a slightly better defender than he normally gets credit for.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't go Brighton's defense being bad. Like, you just look. We just said about their attack being terrible. Brighton have conceded 38, which is actually the same amount as Everton, which is only a little bit more than like some of the big teams. So
yeah, but they've scored the same amount of goals as Newcastle, haven't they? Or similar?
Yeah. So I wouldn't be looking at Brighton's centre backs as the issue. So
yeah, no, I agree. It's all that they just can't. They should have got Ollie Watkins or one of them over at Villa. They should have gone all out for that kind of player, and they'd be mid-table. Anyway, I'm gonna go for this is partly because my last team I've got to pick to lose is Spurs, and I don't have to worry about it. Also because I'm gonna love it. Man United beat Mourinho Spurs, so I'm gonna go for Man United to win at White Hart Lane. And I'm going to go for a contentious 2-1 Mourinho to get sent off.
Mourinho to get sent off?
Yeah.
I feel like there should be extra points for that.
Yeah. Do you really think Mourinho cares that much to get sent off anymore?
That's what I was just about to say.
I feel like
he does it. He does it for show. He'll do it because his team will have played so badly, been completely outplayed. They'll be 2-0 down until the 85th minute. Spurs will score, and then it'll be like 5 minutes of rushing, like they could 4 or 5 chances they're going to miss. He'll cause a scene so that his players don't get shit. That's my prediction of what's going to happen.
You ready for my game?
What was your guess? What was your prediction?
Oh, then I'll give it. I went for Arsenal to beat Sheffield United away, and I've gone for 2-0. I know.
Risky result.
I'm just setting myself up for being upset. It's ridiculous. So dumb.
Have I won yet? Can you catch me? How many points ahead am I?
I don't know.
I've just closed it. You're like a million points ahead. Your points. You're so far ahead. It looks like the Champions League draft. It's ridiculous. We'll go for my game. Ready?
Yeah.
Right. Do you know what? I absolutely totally forgot to ask you this, guys. You need a pen and paper, or just use your phones if that's all right.
Yeah, I got.
And
I've got a printer next to me.
pen and paper, and you're going to need a little bit of honesty here because you're all answering at the same time. Yeah, we've got a good honor system.
But do we have to show our answers with a notepad?
Yeah, you could show your answers but
I'm using an Amazon box to write on.
hard time.
Because I don't want to break my girlfriend's printer by trying to get paper out of it. It looks quite fancy, so yeah.
You're someone that's in charge of aeroplane parts, and you don't even want to deal with getting paper out of printer.
Yeah, but if I break an aeroplane part, my missus won't leave me. Whereas if I break this printer,
do you know
never
what?
know.
That is,
You will if you go to prison.
Yeah, that's true actually. Although she's from Florida, she's probably dating people.
True.
ride or die. She's ride or die.
Yeah. Florida man crashes plane.
The Florida man causes plane to crash. Yeah.
Because he can't afford.
Let's get competitive here.
Right. Yeah.
Not fun and games. Serious business now.
All right, Chris. What's the game?
The game is footballers' nicknames.
What?
Okay. All right.
So don't worry, it's not too hard. I've got a list of footballers that you will know, past and present, no future footballers, of their nicknames that they go by.
How many questions are there? I want a number of them.
There's 10 at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I got 11. So hopefully it's a quick game. I doubt it. So I'm going to name the player, and I just want you to give their commonly known nickname, or not so commonly known, but it's the one that's associated with them. So you're all going to answer at the same time. Yep.
We'll write it down.
Write it down, and then you'll either show the screen or let us know for the listeners. Right. So let's go for the first one. What is Cesar Azpilicueta's nickname? We got that? Chelsea fullback Cesar Azpilicueta. Are we all ready?
Right. Yep.
Yeah. You got that, Rory?
Yeah, I've had a guess.
Go on then.
Is it Asby?
No. Come on, it's Dave.
Dave,
right? I did know that now. Now that you said
don't
that.
show, look.
Yeah, it doesn't show.
Yeah, look. Check my answer.
There you go. Can you see
It's a
it
magic
there?
trick. It's a magic trick.
I'm honest. I got that wrong.
I know you got it wrong.
Dave.
I know you got it wrong.
Well, I'm just
you
being
said
honest.
the wrong answer. Of course
It's
you
like
did.
it's like countdown when they're like, "Dude, just quickly show it." Yeah. look.
Yeah.
I worked out that. I worked out that way too.
I was 6. Fuming.
How did you not get that? Deary me.
Right.
So that's 1 to Dan, 1 to Mark, 1 to Rory.
None to me.
None to Rory, excuse me. The second one, Chris Smalling. What's Chris Smalling's nickname? Former Manchester United player. Who does he play for now?
Roma.
Late Roma,
Roma. There we go.
still in the Europa League.
Oh, nice.
Oh, of course. I know.
Oh, we have a Roma.
You should have called it on it. Just call it quick.
It just came to me.
Rory, have you got it?
No, I've not got a clue.
You ain't got nothing. Not even hazard a guess.
No.
All right, Mark, who is it?
It's Mike.
It's Mike, yeah.
It's Mike.
What?
Because Louis Van Gaal called him Mike in a press conference once.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like Mike Smalling's been.
That was when they was on tour in America, right? Wasn't it like a pre-season?
Yeah, he called him Mike Smalling, and that was it. He was called Mike forever.
That was when Smalling and Jones were quite good though. Like he was never the same once he went back to Chris.
Yeah. That took me a minute, but I got there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it gave you time to think. All right, go on, Rory. I think you got a chance with this one, right? What is David Silva's nickname? Former Manchester City legend. I knew this even before I looked it up.
Really?
Yeah.
Silver.
I don't know. Oh,
Okay.
Is it?
Oh, I've got a feeling I know what it is.
I have a feeling I know what it is, but
I had a feeling.
It's something stupid. Like, it ain't his real nickname. It's just something he's known as, I think.
So, you ready? We've got a couple seconds, Mark. 5,
No, I'm just gonna guess some generic name.
I'm doing it based on a song. I'm based on a song about him. Is what I've gone for.
All right, what have you gone for, Dan?
I went for Merlin because he's got a song about being magic.
Rory?
I went for something like the Wizard or something like
Yeah,
that.
or maybe it's Wizards.
I went magician. So
we're all on the same wavelength, right?
I'm just wondering whether to give it to Rory because it is Merlin or El Mago, the magician.
No, you can't give it to me.
I
for
said
that.
Merlin.
Yeah, you said Merlin and Mark said the magician, which is basically.
Yeah, no, you can't give it to me for that. I've got 0.
Right, fair enough.
But also, Canales is called El Mago as well, and someone else in South America.
that's why I was.
And Fabregas.
And Fabregas was called El Mago as well. Like, you can't just call every playmaker in Spain El Mago.
Well, you know.
I didn't do that.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking generically towards.
Next.
I was. That's why I was like, this is a generic nickname they give all little playmakers.
Next.
Yeah.
Who is Fabregas's nickname? No, I'm joking. Givanildo Vieira de Sousa. What's his nickname?
Excuse me?
It's going to be a Brazilian player.
Givanildo Vieira de Sousa. What's his nickname? Or her, but probably it is. So it could be anyone.
I'm confused at this question.
So it's going to be a
What's his
Brazilian
nickname?
who's commonly known by something else.
Yeah.
But, you know, like the way, like.
Well, Brazilians always have their nicknames on the back of their shirt. They never have their real name. So that's what we're getting at here. There was a number of players I could have picked for this, and I went for this one because I feel
Is
like...
this the only Brazilian?
Huh?
Is this the only Brazilian in it?
This is the only Brazilian, yeah. But I would have thought like you would have got like Ronaldinho's one or
Pele or something like that.
LA, yeah.
Can you repeat the name again?
Givanildo Vieira de Sousa.
Right, okay, cool. I've got it. I think, I've got it. I know who I'm
Mark,
guessing.
you good?
I'm guessing one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've guessed.
Rory, go on then.
Is it Hulk?
Mark?
I went Neymar.
Great shout. I went Rivaldo, but I think your Hulk is a great shout.
It's a great shout because it's correct.
Boom!
Yeah.
Love that.
Do you know what? I think some people think he's got that nickname because of his size, but he actually got it from his grandfather when he was a kid because he liked comic books, so he'd shout it while he was playing games, and then it just stuck.
Hulk, yeah, very good. That's good knowledge, Rory.
Yeah. Well, it's not. I used the process of elimination. I didn't think it would be someone like most of them have a name that's related to their name somehow.
Yeah.
But then I thought, let me think of something. It was a toss up
Fred
between
is
Fred and Hulk.
Federico and
Yeah.
I didn't actually know Neymar's if Neymar was even a nickname.
I think
Neymar's
Neymar's
his name.
I think Neymar's his real name.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's his real name, but if it's not, I don't know his name. That's why I went for it.
Right. Fernando Jose Torres Sanz. What's his nickname? Fernando Torres.
I got that.
Oh.
What's his nickname? Don't say out loud.
Oh, fucking hell. Easy.
Former Liverpool player, former Atletico Madrid,
Oh no.
current steroid user.
Hey, he's massive now, isn't he?
He's not running. That's why footballers get massive when they stop because they carry on like working out or going to the gym, but they stop running around. So
naive, so young, so naive. He's like, this is what happens when people lift weights. No, Rory.
I used to lift weights once upon a time.
Did we all get that one?
Have you written it down yet? Go on then, Mark.
El Nino.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. All got it, yeah?
Yeah, correct.
Easy one. El Nino, also given by his grandfather.
Have you lot got 4 out of 5, by the way?
No,
yes. I got 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, they got 4 out of 5. Dan's got 4 out of 5. Mark's got 4 out of 5.
I've got 2.
Got 2.
Oh, did you give me the magician then?
Yeah, because it's the magician and Merlin, both of them. But I think in I always known that as the magician, but yeah, Marlon, the players gave it to him. Jolien Lescott is taking credit for giving it to him, but
Well, he definitely called him the magician, then he didn't call him whatever.
Merlin is the wizard, like that's why
King Arthur, yeah.
Right.
Also does very good stickers.
You
It's
got your
topical
sticker
as well.
book. Yeah, my mum's
Got the
mum's boyfriend tried to give me sticker book today, and he folded it in half and put it in his pocket. I was like, I can't take that. No selling value. No selling value.
He folded it in half.
Yeah, no, he's like, he put it in his pocket. He's like, well, I've not got a big enough pocket. I'm like, where are you taking that? Come on, what
Who
am I?
puts a sticker album in their pocket?
In it? What am I?
Even half a sticker album's still a big pocket.
Yeah.
Right, Stuart Pearce. What's
Oh.
his? Easy peasy. Come on, we've got some gimmies in this one. Easy peasy. Go on, we all got that. Oh, Danny's thinking he's not got it. Oh, Mark.
Fuck it. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
he
know.
seems like it. Go on, Danny. Then you're so excited.
I know.
Right.
I've just got it. Psycho.
Okay.
Yeah, you both got that, Rory.
Yeah.
Mark, Psycho, correct.
It's one of those words that I always spell it and I'm like, huh?
Yeah, how do
You
I
have to
spell
double
that?
check, isn't it?
That took me a minute.
Anyone who
Well,
spelled it with an S deserves to lose the mark.
Yeah.
I'm like, I always write PHS, and then you're like, no, it's not. Physio.
Right.
This one you'll get. Go on, Rory. Nicholas Anelka.
Oh.
Ah,
So
it's gone blank. Well, you can answer in a minute. Let the penny.
Yeah, hold on.
I'm trying to rush him because I think I need.
I got it.
I need
snookers.
snookers.
Pressing the button real quick.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like the chase, isn't it? You got
Yeah.
seconds
I don't know
from
the
now.
answer, but I thought I'd scare him.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
No, you're not. No guess.
Oh,
Go
I can
on,
take the
Rory.
lead here.
What is it?
It is let's sulk.
Let's sulk. Yeah,
Did you get that,
Mark,
Mark?
yeah, I got that.
Prove it. Show me your workings. Okay, that'll do.
Did we all
Yeah.
get that, or have I gained on
No, I
something?
did.
Danny,
No.
So currently, Mark's leading with 6. Danny's second with 5. Rory, you've got 4, so it's getting close. We got another
Yeah.
Arsenal. We got another Arsenal player. Oh, don't let him know your address, Mark. Jesus, no, I'm joking.
What was I?
Another. We got an Arsenal legend, Tony Adams. What was his nickname?
Oh, he's got 2.
I'll take both.
All right.
Oh, wait. It's
You only
mum.
need to one. See, that's how you know when you're like, oh, which one? There you go, instant.
Yeah. Well, now he's got a 50% chance of getting it wrong. But
Yeah.
at
No,
least
I've written
I've
both.
got-
If he look, you've got 2 here. If you say one that's wrong, the first one, then you're out.
I've gone for it, but I don't want to say it because I want to.
Yeah.
I'll ask you when you've all got an answer. I'll just.
Marcus,
Danny's flapping.
he's
I don't want to lose.
He's
I don't
getting
want to lose.
nervous.
I think I know this one, but it doesn't feel right. But it's the only thing I can think
you
of.
got it, Mark.
no, I'm guessing. So
All right, what's your guess?
the wall.
The wall.
That's a good
Rory,
guess.
Rory.
Yeah.
No, actually, Danny.
I've gone for Mr. Arsenal because I feel like that's what people called him.
Rory.
Yeah, I've got 2. I've got Mr. Arsenal and Donkey because I know Spurs fans used to call him Donkey, but I'd go with
See,
Mr.
I
Arsenal.
had Donkey written down, but I know that Mr. Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm going with Donkey. I've never really heard Mr. Arsenal.
Fuck off.
Donkey's the right answer.
Seriously?
We'll give
So
you
no-
Mr. Arsenal as well.
There's some
Ah.
generous game.
Papa.
You should go with the answers.
Come on, the first 2 were both Man United.
I
Talk
always
about Mike
I always
this
called him the
morning.
wall.
The wall. The wall.
This one you might get then, Rory. This is one of your. I think he's your favorite player of all time, Juan Riquelme.
Ah.
What's his nickname?
Ah.
Can't believe I'm going to flop this.
Yeah, Juan Riquelme. Now we're getting difficult here. Close.
That's just,
That is hard because
that's really hard.
he's called so many different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 2 here. One of them's weird though. I don't know what it is. I don't know why.
Are they real? I have no idea.
I knew it as well. It's annoying. 'cause
Really? Wow.
What was I can't think of it though.
Go on. We'll give you a couple more seconds and we're going to have to go. 5 seconds.
I mean,
4, 3, 2, 1. All right. None of you
Right,
got that.
shall I answer?
Go on then.
I've got JR.
I've not got JR. You've made that up, haven't you?
No, and I've heard him called Maestro before as well. But have you not got that either?
I've not got that either.
I had something related to Maradona.
Oh,
No.
fuck. I know what it is. Can I answer?
You can, but you might not get it.
It's
What
El
is it?
Diaz.
El Diaz.
Yeah.
Diaz is 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, number 10. Yeah.
It's El Diaz.
He was called the Lazy Wizard
I've never heard that.
or El Ultimo 10, the last 10, because he's known as the last.
You know what?
10.
Number 10, yeah.
Do you know what? It was only because of the bloody David Silva one. I was like, I know it's Wizard, something Wizard, but
I've literally never heard him called
You
that.
know?
Called that.
Look at that.
Fuming.
Right, none of you got that. None of you got that. I don't care.
That's
what
because
you
you're making them up.
say. I'm not. I've got a very good site here called Soccer File.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. Last one, right?
No, you got 2 more, you said?
No. Oh, I've got 2 more. You're correct. Yep. Right.
What's the score? 6, 6, and 4.
Dan, you got
Right.
6. Mark, you got 6. Rory, you got 5.
Oh,
Game
all
on.
to play
Game
for.
on.
Now, you might
even
be
though
thinking,
Rory's getting about 5 guesses a turn,
Yeah.
it's still on 5.
bit of a disadvantage here again. Another Man United legend,
here we go.
Massimo Taibi, ex-Man United, played 4 games for them and decided he was not good enough. Massimo Taibi, Italy legend, played a lot in Italy. Then went to Man United for 4 games, wasn't very good, and then got sent back home.
He's called something ridiculous.
It was something which he was called by the press a lot.
The
One time, actually, not a lot, just one time. He's only there for 4 games. I'll give you a guess. It has something to do with his country of origin.
with country of
Sorry?
origin.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's part of the name.
Where is he from?
Italy.
Oh.
All right, I'm just gonna guess this.
All right, Rory.
Because that
You ready?
changed my guess.
Yeah, hold on.
Danny?
That changed my guess. Hold on.
I've got a guess.
Do you remember Taibi?
Yeah.
Obviously, the geezer who turned up for 3 games and just started chucking goals in his own goal
Yeah.
and then disappeared.
4 games.
All right, come on.
All right, go on.
Okay,
Go your guess.
I'm gonna guess.
Go on.
I've got the Italian flop.
I've gone for. I'm sure it's meant to be his eyes. I feel like I put Mr. Eyesight. I put Mr. Italian Eyesight, or something to do with his eyes. I'm sure it is.
Mr.
It's
Italian.
eyesight.
Well, he said it was to do with Italian. I don't know.
Rory, you had no guess.
I'll guess spaghetti. If you're going with,
Oh
if you're
my
going
God.
with the Italian theme.
That is so racist. What are you doing? We've got to cancel you right now. I've got to stop this pod instantly.
What was it?
Oh, Dan, so close, mate.
Actually,
The Blind Venetian.
Nah, that's outrageous. You can't be calling someone that. I'd rather be called like spaghetti hands or something.
you know what?
The blind Venetian.
I remember it being something to do with his eyesight.
How rude.
The blind
it.
Venetian.
I'd be
Bloody
fuming.
hell. Do I get the points? No.
No, you don't. No.
Ah.
So, Dan and Mark, you've got 6 points. Rory, you got 5. One last one for the win.
I'm still in
hopefully-
shock by the blind Venetian.
So the last one is.
We never would have got that.
You never would have got that. That's why I didn't want to. That's why I thought I'd leave it much easier for the last one. So hopefully one of you get it, one of you don't, because I've not got a tiebreaker. Lionel Messi.
Oh, I know what it is.
You can still answer.
Can I just shout it out, or do I have to wait?
No, because Danny, it's me and Danny's the tie break. Or if we both get it wrong and you get it right, then
No, I think I've lost
I
anyway.
feel like he's
I
got
don't-
so many. Can we? Is it like one of many that we can pick,
I
or
don't.
have you just got one?
Well, no, I don't. I know he's not got loads. Like
I feel like he has.
I know what it is.
Good for you.
Can I shout out so you can put me out of my misery?
No.
Because only because it's between me and Danny. Like, I don't want you to shout it out, and Danny goes, "Yeah, I knew that."
I've
No,
written
but-
4.
No, but if I tie
Sorry?
with you, if I
I've written
tie,
down
then
4.
it's a
Then
3-way
no,
tie.
no.
If I get.
I'm only going to
Pick-
accept one. Yeah, I'm only going to
So
accept
pick,
one.
so pick one, because I've got the one I know that's on Chris's answer sheet.
Have you though?
Yeah, I do.
Go on, Danny. You tell me the one you want to pick out of the 4.
Oh, which one do I pick?
I know because I'm on the sportingfile.com right now.
No.
It's actually not on that one, thankfully.
So- on,
I think. I mean, he's been called it since he was a kid, but it doesn't seem to get called anymore. I'm going to
I
go
know he's
with.
going to say it.
I'm going to go with La Pulga. La Pulga. That's what he used to be called.
Mark, what are you going for?
The flea.
Fuck, that's what I went for. So I've lost either way.
That was one of my Atomic Flea. That was one of my other ones.
Atomic.
Well,
Atomic Flea. That's his.
Leopolga is. What language are they speak in Argentina?
Spanish.
Spanish.
It's Spanish.
Argentinian.
Goodness sake.
Leopolga is Spanish for the flea, so you're both correct.
I should probably even don't.
Congratulations. Oh,
What did you put down goat as well?
Yeah, I had goat. I had Flea. I had La Pulga. I had Messi Donna. Heard that as well.
I'm not accepting goat. I mean, everyone's goat. I mean, for goodness sake, such an overused phrase.
Yeah, but he's the actual
He's sometimes
actual-
known as Messi
Him
Lingard.
or Aguero. This is questionable.
Messi Lingard.
Messi Lingard. They've been calling him in recent weeks.
Leo. He's sometimes just known as Leo.
Right, let's go to sudden death then. Quick one. Jason Park. This is just for Mark and Danny.
Cheers.
That's unfair. That's Mark's favourite player.
Jason Park, go for it.
Put the pressure on.
You know it, Mark.
I feel like I don't know the nickname, which is the point
Danny?
of this game.
Jason Park.
But I definitely know who Ji-sung Park is. So
Yeah, yeah.
I know I've got a word, but I feel like it's not his nickname, but it's very related to his nickname. I have a feeling.
Yeah.
Quick
Have
game.
you got one, Mark? Have you got one? I'm gonna.
I'll guess, but I don't want to give you a clue. Like if I'm
right.
close,
I don't think it's
I've
right.
I don't think I've got the right answer. I just
Yeah,
on,
me
Danny.
either. I put something down because I think it's to do with this. I put the
Oh.
runner. It's something
I
to do
put-
with like him running a lot.
Yeah, I put lungs. I feel like he was known as like the lungs
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah, that's quite good. I put the
His
runner.
nickname is Three Lungs. Mark's the
Three
winner.
lungs. I
We'll
knew,
give
I
it
knew
to
it was.
Mark.
I knew it was something to do with lungs, but I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Do you know what? I don't know why this. I just wanted to do a quick one. I was doing this, looking at all these different names. Do you know the English defender Fitzhall?
Yeah, his name's One Size.
It's
Yeah.
one side.
Yeah, I knew that one. Why didn't you drop that one in?
Yeah.
Do you remember Gilberto Silva's one?
No, what was it?
The invisible wall.
Oh,
Best one was Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
Lauren, the right back of the Invincibles.
I don't know. What was it?
what was he?
Ralph.
That
There you go. So Mark's the winner. Way, congratulations.
was an epic game that went on for about half an hour.
No, that went longer than I thought. So there was just so many that I liked. But interesting. All right. Does that mean we only have front three, back four left?
Yeah.
Really? I'll go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as soon as you
Okay.
didn't get to play in the game, you can go.
Yeah, because I wasn't.
Probably
I
fair.
wasn't involved in that really. I guess. So in my back four this week is actually not quite a poor one out, but it's more of a thoughts and prayers to someone who's very special to me. DMX. He's currently in serious condition in the hospital. He had a heart attack earlier on this week, and anyone that's seen me out in the clubs know that when DMX comes on, you better watch out because elbows be flying. Yeah, no, do you know, like, you know, they always talk about, you know, the best rappers in the 90s and whatever. For me, DMX was like,
No, I'm sorry, that sent me. Anyone who's seen me out in the clubs, like, there's going to be millions of listeners going, "Yeah, he's right." To be fair, I've seen him out.
Yeah.
I've got legendary status that we went on many lads' holidays where I was asked to stay on and work throughout the summer because they needed someone to bring in the crowds. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's not even lying. That's true.
That's true. You know that, Dan. You know that.
You don't want to know why, though.
Trust me.
He
Highly inappropriate.
couldn't pay the bar tab.
Yeah. And he's terrible at washing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, no, it's a shame. For me, he was always one of my favorite rappers growing up, and just anytime his songs come on, it's just one of them things where you get a feeling inside, like legitimately, where you just want to start just going absolutely insane. But he's only 50 years old as well, so he's not the oldest person. But I think he's had trouble with some drug related issues and stuff like that. He's always had a bit of a troubled life. But I hope he ends up being okay. I'm a big fan, and it'd be a shame to see him go at any point, really. But especially at a young age as his. So yeah, not pour one out. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers. Hopefully he'll be in my front three soon. How about that? In my actual front three is Danielle Bregoli. Do you know who that is?
No.
No.
AKA Bad Baby. Does that give you any more clues?
Is that the Cash Me Outside?
It's the Cash Me Outside girl, yes, from Dr. Phil.
Why is she in your front three?
Because she's in my front three because she went on OnlyFans for the first time last week and in 6 hours earned $1 million.
Outrageous.
Wow.
So, Rory knows a lot about OnlyFans. Those that don't know, it's a site where it's an Essex-based site. For some reason, this oddly came up yesterday when Mark was having a chat with us the other day. OnlyFans, an Essex-born businessman who made OnlyFans, and basically it's where girls go and I think they just show their feet for the most part.
Blokes as well, you know.
Blokes show their feet as well. Yeah. If you're into that.
All sorts, mate.
Yeah. So.
I don't really get it. How does she earn $1 million? Do people pay to look at her?
You pay to see people's nudes, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just a site that people can't like screenshot or do anything like that. It's just a way of saying, okay, you pay for content. So
yeah, so
it's not always nudes, like,
ain't it?
Some people will pay for someone's like just to be in a bikini. Like
there's a lot that don't do nudes. Like there's a lot of MMA fighters that have done it, and they just kind of show sort of provocative poses, but it's not all nudes. It's not all like just full on sex. Like she didn't show anything. She was just on it, and I think she might have been in some like
I don't know who she is.
Gay pictures.
I just don't know why you'd pay when there's an internet full of free porn there, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly, there's an internet full of free porn, and people are paying $3.99 a month.
It's a lot like people. I've bought some terrible craft beers. Like, people just have to spend their money.
Not quite the same thing, I don't think, Mark.
What?
Yeah.
Who is it? Who is she?
Oh, she's on
shit.
Danielle Bregoli, Bregoli. Danny's just signing up to her OnlyFans right this
I want to know who it is. I don't even know who that is.
It's not worth it.
Sure, Dan. Sure, you're looking at who she is. Yeah, sure.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah, I've just seen her.
Yeah,
really?
Exactly.
Well, Dan, don't be rating her on this pod, please. She's only 18 years old. Calm down.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a family show. It's a family show, Danny.
Yeah.
All right.
Sign up to OnlyFans later on. Just put your.
Oh wow, she is just turned 18.
Yeah.
Mark's interests have been perked.
Mark's like, I've got a convertible.
Yeah.
I think Mark's rule is half your age minus 7, isn't it? No.
Half your age times 7.
Oh wow.
Go on, Mark. You go next.
All right. In my back four this week is the human race. Using one of your ones, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you have seen in Wales Wally the walrus.
Yes.
So this walrus has got a bit lost. Wally? Yeah, where's Wally? He's in Wales, and he's a walrus, and he's turned up, and now he's relaxing down in Wales. He's taking a holiday, although he's not meant to be travelling during COVID period. But
some people.
The Welsh local government have had to come out and say tourists are getting too close to him. They're stressing him out. He's getting anxiety, and he's not doing too well. And the reason it's
Yeah,
my
mental health first aider.
and the reason it's in my back four is because I don't know if any of you saw a couple of weeks ago, poor Freddie Mercury, the seal that was in the Thames, died. So Freddie the seal had become a bit of like a tourist attraction. He was a seal in the Thames, and someone got too close and let their dog attack it. And
Wow.
Freddie died a week later after a dog attack. So
These dogs lately have been attacking everyone. Do you hear the other one?
yeah, and it's just bad owners. A lot of people got dogs over lockdown, but they have no idea how to train them.
Yeah.
Like, how's your training going, Rory? You're
She's all right. Do you know what?
It wasn't your dog, was it?
No. My dog couldn't hurt a fly. But also, she's been asleep next to me for the whole duration of this podcast. So it says a lot about how interesting we are.
Yeah, like most of our listeners.
Yeah.
Front three, I'll finish.
Most of our listeners be pissing on your leg too.
If you let them.
Yeah. Put that on
OnlyFans as well. Allegedly.
We'll charge them on OnlyFans. Come
The
on,
all talk OnlyFans.
Hey, maybe which one you want to piss on.
Yeah. The guy's local. Maybe we'll get a discount as well. So front three this week. A new trailer came out last week for Space Jam 2. So
I'm sure I did that 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think you did the announce, not the trailer. The trailer came out this week with the story, and
yeah, Chris.
It being a Easter weekend, they actually put quite a lot of Easter eggs in it. So if you don't know what I mean by Easter eggs, it's when they put little nuggets for things of other fans of stuff will spot. So
They put loads, didn't they?
Yeah, there's loads. I'm not going to go through them all, but I just saw Agent Smith from The Matrix was in the crowd, and I thought, oh, that's quite a good one. And they had, I think maybe Pennywise was in there. Yeah, it's a good, like, it's a trailer which there's quite a lot going on in the background.
I
the
think
story
it's
and stuff.
every kind of Warner Brother owned movies, there's people in there.
Yeah, it's quite a good little trailer for that. I'm not, jury's out on how the film will actually be, but
It'll be bad, but we still got to see it.
Yeah.
We got to remember it's not for us either. Like, it's for the kids who never had Space Jam because they're too young. This is their one, so.
And yeah, I wonder if they'll start using this in the conversation. Who's better, MJ or LeBron? Based on Space Jam.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
Danny Boy.
Funny enough, mine links very nicely. My front three also involves LeBron James. It is LeBron James in my front three, but it's nothing to do with Space Jam. I don't know if you saw the news last week, but LeBron James is now the rightful part owner of Liverpool Football Club.
Hasn't he always been involved though?
No, so he is officially the first African-American still playing athlete to own multiple sports clubs now. So Redbird Capital this week, they bought, I think it was $750 million. They bought Fenway Sports Group, or bought into Fenway Sports Group, who they obviously own Liverpool.
And they own the Boston Celtics as well.
Yeah, and the Red Sox. Red Sox. LeBron has sold his shares in one, and he's bought shares now in the controlling group. So now owns voting rights and shares in both, effectively, Liverpool and the Red Sox. So actually he's on the board and gets to make decisions about what happens to those clubs. But fair play to him. We know we don't like Liverpool on this pod, so big fan of any non-UK non-football person running the club.
Yeah, we love non-football people running football clubs.
Yeah,
only ever does well.
Something to actually take note and be aware of is that LeBron James is pretty notorious, and he started a lot of what is garnering players from other teams to join himself. And I would not be surprised if he gets all of these night football athletes all over the world. You're going to see Pogba's, and I know Pogba's Adidas, isn't he?
Yeah.
But like, you're going to see like players of that stature.
Even Neymar's
want to be
Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, that want to be associated with a LeBron James, and he'll probably chat to him and want to get them over. So, you see some of these players going to Liverpool. I wouldn't be surprised now.
Maybe. I mean, it could be an amazing move. I mean, obviously, there'll be people in the Red Sox. They'll all be wearing Liverpool tops. They'll be encouraging them to do that. Not so sure it's going to be the same the other way around, but yes, I think it is probably good news for Liverpool. But also, I just like the fact, fair play to LeBron. Still an athlete, first African American to do it, and he's now owns multiple sports clubs. So he's building an empire.
These bloody foreign investors can't stand it.
Yeah, he's building an empire, so fair play to him. And he's filmed Space Jam, so man's got time. In my back four this week, are Cadiz. For those who don't watch the Spanish league, that is a lowly, pretty poor Spanish team. I don't know if you saw
yesterday.
Well, I don't know if you saw did you see the Cadiz Valencia situation yesterday?
Yeah, it's Diacabi, wasn't it?
Yeah, so Diacabi, who plays for Valencia, was racially abused on the pitch by one of the other players so badly that he went absolutely off on one, like absolutely went nuts, running after him. They all had to stop. And he and all the Valencia players walked off the pitch because the ref and no one was doing anything about it. They were complaining. Diacabi got yellow carded for complaining about it. So they all walked off the pitch and they said they refused to play. But the reason Cadiz, and actually my back four, probably more the Spanish FA, because apparently what happened was in the changing rooms, the refs came in and basically said, you have to come out and play, or you're not just going to lose this game, you're going to forfeit future games as well. You're going to lose loads of points. Obviously, Valencia are trying to fight for Europe. Well, not trying to fight for their safety, actually. And so they were forced to go back out and finish the match in spite of what happened, which I just think is not very sporting. I think they should have walked off, called the game off, and Cadiz should have lost, and they should learn their lesson. And Cadiz came out with a statement about an hour or two later, basically saying our players aren't racist. We support anti-racism. There's no way any of our players would have done it. They've done a Liverpool and Suarez.
Well, that's the dilemma. I didn't see the incident, but the one thing I'd say is footballers are not known for their honesty. So if the rule was end of the game guaranteed win, it wouldn't, I would not trust footballers to be the judges of that. I could imagine a Neymar or someone cheating. So was it 100%? Is there are they sure?
Well, apparently there's video evidence. Plus, he was fuming.
So there should be.
There
should be.
Really crying.
I know. I do think sometimes you can tell reactions. It's like when a footballer doesn't act like they're injured and they're actually down.
You can tell.
I think you can tell the reaction. But yeah, I do as you said, there should be rules. It should be okay, the game's abandoned, and then an investigation or something. It should
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, that's why Cadiz and the Spanish FA are all in my back four this week.
Ooh, it'll be interesting to see what happens at the aftermath. This stuff moves so quickly, it's so hard to know. But go on, Roy, finish us off.
Yeah, can I just say that for updates on the Cadiz developments, stay tuned and give us a follow on @AllTalkFC, because we will be tweeting updates throughout the week of what happens and if the Spanish FA do anything.
I'm just texting Diacabi now. I'll see what he says.
Yeah, see what he says. Our sources on the ground say that Diacabi's fuming. So in my back four this week, I've got Mino Raiola. For those of you that don't know, he's a super agent, as they're now called, and he's got De Ligt and he's got Pogba and he's also got Haaland. Any others that you can think of, Danny?
Tons. Yeah,
tons of them.
Half of the Feyenoord and Ajax team.
Half the Feyenoord and Ajax team. Loads of the top level players in the world. I've got a feeling he might have Griezmann as well. Anyway, he's come out this week and said that Erling Braut Haaland has visited Barcelona, who's supposedly a skint as well, and that in order for him to sign him, he wants 20 million euros for himself, 20 million euros for Haaland's dad, who can't be short of a few quid himself because he was a professional footballer, 40 million euros a year for Haaland, and plus a transfer fee. He's basically selling his player to the highest bidder with not really much concern for his career. Now, I think Haaland will be great anyway. He's a class player. But to be that openly greedy just really winds me up. And
that's why he went to Dortmund in the first place.
So that he can be...
Well, it was Dortmund were the only ones who he gets part of the sell-on fee.
Yeah.
Dortmund sell. So he's already got in the contract.
He's already got it in the contract that he's going to get part of the fee. But also now he's talking about payments to his dad, payments to an agent. I just think that it sums up where we are with football at the minute. Greed. And don't get me wrong, Raiola is a greedy prick, for want of a better expression, in the first place. But if we're getting to the stage where we're having to pay fees to players' parents, as well as agent fees, as well as God knows how many other fees, football's going to collapse on itself eventually.
Well,
Barcelona
you say
do that a few years ago.
Yeah, also, you say that. I guarantee you, back in the day, even 20, 30 years ago, when Alex Ferguson wanted to sign a player, you don't think he was buying a house for that guy, the player's parents down the road?
There's buying a house, but then there's bungs of 20, 30 million quid. Surely that's not sustainable.
It's a bit more now, but the concept is the same thing.
I just think that there's a lot difference between, I mean, it used to happen when we were kids. If a player was good, even at 9, 10, 11, 12, Tottenham would buy him a bike, or Arsenal would buy him a PlayStation 2. You know, just like, because especially in the area I grew up, that was sort of in between Arsenal, Tottenham, and West Ham, they were all fighting for the best players. But I think there's a bit of a difference for, I don't know, buying someone's little sister a pony to get the brother to sign and bunging 20, 30 million quid for a club that's supposedly skint. And I just think it doesn't bode well for football that these clubs that are supposedly got no money are just hemorrhaging money left, right, and centre, and they're just being exploited by people like Raiola, because this will become the norm now. If you want to sign one of his players, it will include a 20 million fee to him, and I just don't see it as being sustainable long term.
Well, let me ask you this: Messi's on 71 million euros a year,
exactly,
and they're about to lose Messi next year.
Yeah,
so there's 71 million euros a year they've got.
But they're meant to be a billion euros in debt as well. So once Messi goes, how do they then become like a self-sustainable model? And also, I'm not sure I have a problem with Messi being the highest paid player in the world, but it's when you look at them.
Barca's finances. Yeah, they're about to get that back on their balance sheet.
What I was going to say is you've got Ousmane Dembele on 350 grand a week. You've got Jordi Alba on 400 grand a week.
This is the point. If they just need to get rid of 2 or 3 of them, and they've got more than enough to pay for Haaland.
Yeah, and depending on what their books look like now. I mean, I'm not an accountant, but anyway, I digress.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, can I change my back four to Rory's pronunciation? It took me like halfway through his diatribe to know who he was talking about. Is it?
What, Haaland?
Haaland.
Wow. Apparently, that is how you say it, because he's got no accent.
Haaland. I went to uni with Norwegians. It's Haaland.
Is it? Oh, right. Fair enough.
I don't know. I've made that up. But any Norwegian listeners, feel free to drop in. Anyway, my front three today is the NFL. They've added a 17th game. I'm absolutely buzzing about that.
The players aren't.
The players aren't. No, they're not. But it means there's an extra week of NFL football. So it's gone from being a 17-week season to an 18-week season.
No. 16
yes.
to 17.
No, because every team gets a bye week. So the season used to last 17 weeks and now lasts 18 weeks. So yeah, look forward to the Minnesota Vikings going 9-8 rather than 8-8 next season.
Well, the funny thing is, there's going to be so many records broken because it's going to be like the first time ever someone's going to.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder how. I mean, the benchmark for receiving yards, for example, is always around 1,000, and
it's going to be beat.
It's all going to be beat. Rushing yards. The benchmark for an elite running back is around 1,000 yards. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to get more players going for 1,500, 2,000 yards, which then is going to mess up all of these GOAT debates and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to have to be adjusted to like yards per carry and yards per reception. But yeah, for those of us that love the NFL, which I do, I mean, most days I love it more than football. I'm not going to lie.
How do you just add in a fixture though?
So
you not play everyone equally?
No, every team doesn't play every team. So they've just added in.
Then it's not. That's a load of shit, then, isn't it?
There's too many teams. There's so many teams.
There's relegation.
Well, it's not even that there's so many teams. Like I was going to say, you're going to say there's so many records broken. By all accounts, there's going to be a lot of bodies broken too, because the NFL season, it's very hard to sustain any kind of physical health with that many games, and adding an extra game is going to be tough.
But they've taken away a preseason game.
Oh yeah, because all the star players playing for the season.
Well, I don't know. I think it's
strange that they've done it. It's a strange thing to do, really.
It's more money. It's more money. Yeah. It's just the same
more
thing.
Money.
The Europa Conference League. It's like, why? We're just generating more TV money.
Yeah, I mean, what they could have done is they could have moved the college league a bit later. So without adding in an NFL game, they could have had the college football season, say, starting in January, finishing in April or May. And then that way you wouldn't have got...
NFL don't earn any finances off of that.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is that people moan that there's not enough American football on TV.
Do they?
Americans, yeah.
Rory does.
I do. Yeah, and me and Americans. Always the complaint is that, you know, it starts in September and it's done by February this year, the Super Bowl fell in. And if they wanted a few more weeks of competitive sport, they could have moved the college season back and had it going on until April, May. And then that way you'd actually only get 4 months without it. Because it's not like football where we get, you know, you get about 48 weeks of football a year, and sometimes it is a bit saturated. It's like the fact that the season's so short makes it more exciting for me. So yeah, the extra week I'm more buzzing because it will mean that the first week where there's no NFL on Sunday will be a little bit later next year in 2022.
Oh well, if we start moving our pod to a Sunday, it's going to be a real issue. But we'll deal with that when it comes. Right.
Nice way to drop that in.
Yeah, very good. So that I think that was a tight 1 hour. Very good by all of us.
3.5.
We'll see you.
No, nothing.
Oh, good. No, I'm sure you don't want to talk more about anything else. No.
Well, we've only done an hour.
Just before we wrap up, Danny, I'm catching you. I'll make the auto sub before the next game week.
Ah, lovely.
Oh, fantasy football. I haven't even looked at fantasy football this week.
There's his excuses. Right, Danny's going to have a look at his fantasy football, and we're going to see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.